Hey guys, Michael Kunico here, National Fitness Manager for Fitness First Australia, joined by the lovely Amy, who you may have seen on some of our recent videos. We have a bit of a challenge today. We've got a few challenges coming up, but today's one's going to be quite interesting because it's a bit of a can you beat Amy kind of challenge, which I think is going to be quite difficult for most of us, including myself, but we'll see how we go. So what is the challenge? It's going to be 4 exercises, 10 reps of each exercise. See how long it takes you to complete those. And the exercises are within the range of most people. So you won't need to really scale them. It's just how quickly can you get through them. But we'll get to those in a moment. Of course, it's really important to warm up prior to doing something where it's a bit challenge-like as well, because that's gonna amp up the intensity quite quick. So please be mindful of your own capability, injury, health concerns. Make sure you get medical clearance and just take this one easy if you want to, and maybe it's a workout you can come back to in a week or 2 weeks and see if you can beat your previous time. But a little bit of time before we get there. So first one's going to be just to warm up. So first thing we're going to get Amy to do is just hinge over at the hips. So maybe even just soften the knees, just that real little bit. Hinge through the hips, get that nice stretch through the hamstrings. As you hinge there, can you find the ground with your fingers? So can you get close to the ground? And then can you walk those hands out? It's almost like an inchworm. Some of you are familiar with that. Nice strong position there, doming through the upper back. We're going to open up through the chest. Shoulders are stacked, beautiful position. Let's come back to that start and the push-up. Other side. Beautiful, hand down. Let's walk the hands back now, so like you're reversing that movement. This time though, let your head and your body hang heavy. So just let your upper body fall forward. Let the lower back round out a little bit and just hang heavy. And then slowly, be careful, you might get a bit of a head spin. Just stand up nice and tall. Beautiful. Let's get one more rep of that in. We will give you an opportunity to try the exercise before we get into the workout, but we still want to get the body nice and warm. Open up, stack the shoulders, beautiful. Other side, perfect. Walk the hands back. You might find you really like this position, so feel free to hang there for a little bit. Head and upper body goes heavy, and then slowly find your way to the top of the movement. Beautiful. Guys, if you need anything else for your own sort of movement or mobility, by all means, pause and get that done. We will take you through the movements first though. So the first exercise is it's a dynamic Spiderman lunge. So some of you will be familiar with this exercise. So it's dynamic in that Amy's taking her right foot to finish outside her right hand, dropping the hips a little bit, taking the right foot back, and then left to outside of left hand. We'll do 2 more, so 1 each side. Right foot goes back, beautiful, and relax there. So you would have seen this exercise demonstrated in a jumping kind of fashion. We're trying to avoid that. We know as people fatigue, they start to put pressure on certain parts of their body. So we're trying to avoid the jumping. So let's try to keep that separate. Our second exercise is a little bit tricky. So it's tricky and then it's hard, to be honest. The second exercise is called a chest to ground, back to ground. So it's not a burpee or anything like that. So Amy has to get down to the ground, chest has to touch the ground. She then has to get the back flat on the ground and then stand back up. Let's do 1 more each of those, Amy. Chest to ground, stands up nice and tall, back to ground, stands up nice and tall. So the key there is you have to stand up tall to finish. So you have to extend the body. So finishing here doesn't mean you can then go into the next movement. You've got to stand up nice and tall. That's our second exercise. All right. Our third one is a variation of an exercise we did a few weeks ago. It's a little bit of an interesting one, so we'll see how this one goes. Amy's going to get into hip extension. Then she's going to reach one thumb, touch the ground, take it back over, drop the hips down, touch the ground, extend thumb. So in this exercise, we'll do 2 more, 1 each side. The hips have to touch the ground in between each overhead reach, and the thumb has to find the ground. That's 1 repetition. Okay, so we've got 10 of those as well. All right, our last one, and it's the one that everyone hates, but we're doing it in a modified way. So it's a modified frog burpee. So it's not too explosive or dynamic. Again, as people fatigue, they tend to mess this exercise up a little bit. So Amy's going to demonstrate why this one's called a modified frog burpee. So we're actually at the top. Yeah, knees go outside the hand. We stand up. Amy drops back into the bottom position and steps the feet back. Okay, so there's none of this jumping the legs back and excessively arching through the spine. It's a stepping back motion. Okay, but we are jumping to the top. Guys, if that's too extreme for you, if you need to pull that back a little bit, you can step forward and step back as part of this workout as well. So just go at your pace. So what is our goal? Our goal is to complete 10 repetitions of each exercise. So there's 4 exercises, and record our time. So we've got our phone handy here so we can record Amy's time. I've got a funny feeling she's going to do quite well. This one doesn't take very long at all. So once you see this one on the page there, feel free to let us know how you went, what your time was, and how you felt the workout was. And if you'd like to see some more like this. So, how you feeling, Amy?
Pretty pumped.
You good? You good? Okay, cool. So just as Amy's going to start, I'll start the timer and we'll let you know how she goes. All right, first exercise, dynamic Spiderman lunge. Let's start it from her first repetition, which is in 3, 2, 1, go. Good. Okay, she's doing that pretty quick. 10 reps of this movement, guys. This one's going to take a little bit longer. So that chest to the ground, back to ground, you're going to find your heart rate elevates really quickly. It's not a burpee. It's not too explosive, but you could argue it's a super functional exercise because there's nothing more functional than actually getting up and getting off the ground. Beautiful. And you can use different strategies to stand up, whatever's comfortable for you. All right. Whew. How many is that, Amy?
9.
Beautiful. Last one here. All right. Stand up. You finished. Get back to the ground. Now we've got hip extension with the overhead reach. Bum down. Extend. Beautiful. Bum down. Good. So each reach overhead is 1 repetition. So it'll be 5 each side in total. Extend the hips. So we really want to make sure those hips are nice extended, straight line, shoulder, hips and knees. That's what we want to see. Whew. Man. So that first exercise was pretty simple. These ones take a little bit longer. All right, everyone's favorite, the variation of a burpee. So knees outside the elbows if we can. Stand up nice and tall. Again, we finish in that extended position. So no cheating, no finishing in this sort of hunched over position. Whew. Man. How many is that, Amy?
6.
Awesome. And it's going to be pretty quick. I'll be really keen to see how everyone else goes on this workout. Is this the last one?
1 more.
1 more. Let's go, let's go. Outside stand, beautiful. 135. So,
Yes.
that is pretty impressive. If anyone can beat 135, by all means let us know in the comments. We might need to see a video just to verify, but Amy did a super job there. So guys, that's our really quick workout for today. If that's not enough for you, feel free to pause for 2 or 3 minutes and then go through that again. There's some really nice patterns there, really nice movements. You'll get a really great workout in 15 minutes if you want to do that for 3 rounds. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for Amy. And let us know how you went in the comments. See you guys soon.